Good morning and welcome to Peggy's Place. I'm your host today, Lindsey, and a filmmaker as well. It is like pea soup outside. It is so foggy here on the North Coast. And we've got a great guest lined up for you today. Randi Moody is going to be talking to us about a major wine and music event over by the Sacramento area. In just a moment, we have our own events here to talk about first before we get into the show. It is Friday, April the 28th, 2023. And we are going to also be talking lots of other things today here regarding the events in our area. The big art intake, not pay intake, but art intake to help rebuild our community center after it was burned down is going to happen tomorrow, Saturday the 29th. You can drop off donations of art from 9 to 10 a.m. and then 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the community center. They're going to be holding this art intake program. There's also Goodbye Close up in Point Arena. That is going to be 9:30 to 3:30 p.m. Saturday. So that's up in Point Arena at the 245 Main Street. We have an art exhibit that's happening at Linden Design Gallery, which is just below my office up on Annapolis Road. They are going to be featuring design-centered posters that the Lindens have been collecting over the years. And these two lovely people, Lou and Maynard Linden, have tons of artwork. It is going to be an amazing showing from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that's up at Annapolis Road, right across from the airport and the fire station at Linden Design Gallery. Poetry for Everyone is a local poet and writer, Susan Wolburst, and she's going to be at Wallala Arts. And she invites you to bring your favorite poem to share in the honor of National Poetry Month. And this is going to be outdoors. Light refreshments are going to be served, and the wine sales will benefit Wallala Arts, and that's at 4 p.m. To approximately 5 p.m. on Saturday. That evening at 5 o'clock at Wallala Arts, it's Our Great Concerts, Our Great Guitars concert. And that's with Fred Adler, who presents the show. And it's going to be featuring four outstanding Bay Area guitarists, Randy Vincent, Ian Shearer, Joel Kruzik, and Chris Doring. And joining them as a featured guest artist is Robbie Effman on clarinet. And that's 5 p.m. on Saturday. Sunday, we've got a couple of very interesting bird walks coming up. This one is in the Sea Ranch, and it's open to the public. So call in advance, get your parking pass to attend. It's going to be at the Olson Rec Center, and you can call 707-294-6423 for this bird walk on Sunday, April the 30th. And it's going to be on the Sea Ranch Bluffs, where participants can observe local seabirds, raptors, and songbirds. Very cool for this time of year. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, two more bird walks. One's going to be at Mill Bend, and that's going to be with Rich Trissel on a discovery bird walk along Mill Bend Preserves along the Gualala River and Access Road and Beach, where the participants are likely to also see raptors, swallows, songbirds, and waterbirds. So you can contact RCLC at 707-294-6423. That's 707-294-6423, or go to their website, rclc.org. And then on Thursday, May 4th, it's going to be another one back at the Sea Ranch. So you got two opportunities to walk along the bluffs. It's open to the public, and you can do some bird watching in this beautiful weather. It's supposed to be a little bit more cool next week. The fog now has rolled in on our coast because it got so hot, and we'll see if there's going to be any warm weather next week, but I heard some moisture might be coming in on Tuesday. All right, that's going to do it for our local events. This is KGUA in Wallala, 88.3 FM. I'm Lindsey, and we have now an opportunity to talk about more events, wine and music over by the Sacramento area of Clarksburg. Good morning. we are
Good
going to
morning.
welcome now Randi L. Moody, who is the producer of this event. Good morning, Randi.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Leanne.
And I have to let everybody know, I know you through your mom, and and she is the author of The Longest Trail. And that's your mom, Ronnie McFadden. And you were both here last September when we were putting on an event at the Sea Ranch Lodge. And we were talking about the crowdfunding that we were doing for a documentary I'm working on called Seabiscuit's Legacy.
Yeah.
And she is actually on the board of our fiscal sponsor, and that's the Seabiscuit Heritage Foundation. And in fact, Randi, news about our recent announcement that we received a $7,500 community grant from Midland County.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
Yes, it is. And it's in this week's newspaper that I was just reading the events from.
Perfect. That's fun.
Yeah, and it's good to see you again. You are really working hard behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes, right? Events or something else. People just show up and they're like, this is amazing. You have no idea the behind the scenes.
This is going to be music under the stars, country music. And
yeah, we're really excited.
At Miners Leap Winery, correct?
Yeah, correct. It's a winery. It's Miners Leap Winery, a family-owned winery out in Clarksburg, California. Such a quaint and little historic town. It's just south of Sacramento, right there on the Delta, so right off the river. And we just found this venue, and I was just really, really excited that we got to connect, and they were excited about what I was doing, and I'm excited about what they're doing. So it was a perfect partnership that we're doing the Sack Song and Wine series.
That's what it's called, the Sack Song and Wine series. And then when I looked at their website, Miners Leap website, that venue is so professionally done. Huge.
It's gorgeous.
And all a pavilion and all these beautiful gardens surrounding the event.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Loyal Miner, the owner, has done a fantastic job out there. And it's really funny because I was reading up on the history of that family, and his grandfather actually was a bootleg winemaker back in the 20s. And so it's been tradition for them, and I've just really enjoyed getting to know him and their story behind it. Everybody always has a story, so I love that. And combining with their good wines and great country music, we're bringing country music singer-songwriters out from Nashville. And all the songs that you hear on the radio, there's somebody usually behind those songs that writes them besides the person that sings them. If they're a singer-songwriter, then obviously they write a lot of their own material, but behind those great #1 songs and are wonderful songwriters. And so we're just very fortunate to be able to pair up with these songwriters out of Nashville, mostly out of Nashville, coming out to do this series for us. We're just really excited.
Yes, I noticed Miranda Lambert and Luke Ryan, or Brian, is it?
Yeah, so they're songwriters. Yeah. A lot of their hits, a lot of the #1 hits that are there, the songwriters behind them are, maybe you don't know their names, but you know their songs, and I'm going to get you to know their names because they deserve it. So we're very fortunate to feature them.
So this is a series, and the first one starts May 17th. Why don't you tell a little bit about what's going to happen May 17th, and then some of the other dates, and then I want to know more about you.
Okay,
about your mom, but not you.
Okay, well, May 17th is our very first one. It's a series. It's a 5-concert series, one a month. So we've got our opening kickoff is May 17th, as we said, and we've got VIP seating that involves a little more special treatment as far as table and chair reservation, a special VIP seating area, wine and food offerings from the winery and stuff like that. But we also have wonderful GA, general admission seats on the lawn. You can bring your low back, picnic chairs, your picnic blankets. You can bring in your picnic. We will also have a food trucks there, and of course, wonderful wine that Miners Leap is going to be serving. And they also have what they love to call wine slushies. And it's getting really warm here. So those wine slushies are going to be, I think, very popular.
I bet.
So, yeah. So VIP and wine members, Miners League wine members, also they get early access. So you can go and get your seats and enjoy the evening. And then general admission opens at 6, and it's just going to be DJ live music and cornhole. And then we're going to have some country dancing opportunities all before the show starts at 7:30 when the songwriters take over. So it's a wonderful evening.
Right. And our listeners here along the coast, or some are in Santa Rosa, some in San Francisco, this will be a nice getaway event to go out by this winery near Sacramento. It's a beautiful setting with palm trees even.
It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous setting. And the quaint town of Clarksburg is where it's at. And then this winery by Miners Leap family, that's a multi-generation family of doing wines for a long time. And the music, country music, I'm from Texas and I ride horses, but I was never really a country music fan, even though I worked at a radio station, but I played rock music. So I want to hear more about the country music that people can expect. What are some of the songs? And then we're going to talk about you.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite things to do, is these songwriter type events, because you get to hear the story behind the journey of the song and how it came about. So it's not going to be like you go to this concert and you're talking the whole time and you're up and dancing. It's something entirely new and different, where they call them artists in the rounds, or an in the round, where multiple songwriters will be on the stage and they're going to talk to you about where the inspiration came from the song. And you're going to know these songs because it's what they're playing on the radio currently and past #1 hits. These are hit makers that are coming to this series. And so they will tell you, I was sitting outside one day and I looked up and I saw whatever inspiration it is, and they'll lead you through the journey of how they wrote this song. And then they'll talk to you about how they got paired up with the actual artist who sings the song, if they're not the ones themselves, and what that journey is. And sometimes they'll have you crying, laughing so hard. Sometimes they'll bring tears to your eyes because it's just such a sweet, tender story that absolutely changed these people's lives. And you'll be rolling, and all the emotions you're going to get, and then you're going to get the music too, and it's just so fun. And some of these are cross genre songwriters, so even though maybe you don't like country music necessarily, if that wasn't what you grew up, you will love the stories, you will appreciate their talent and the process. And also they write songs in other formats as well. And some of the ones that we are bringing here have done just that. They've written stuff with, pop and alternative and rock too. So it's just such an exciting time. It's for everyone. Well, 21 and older, because it is at the winery, but it's something for everyone.
It's storytelling under the stars, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One of our favorite shows that we have here at KGUA is called Q. It's from Canada, and it's with a host named Tom Powers. He has the best way of connecting with musicians or filmmakers. And I'm always curious about his shows because he really gets the artist to open up and do exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Stories.
And people are like, I haven't heard this name. I'm like, okay, let me tell you some of the songs that these people sing. So like our opening act is Leigh Thomas Miller and Wendell Mobley. And some people have heard of Leigh Thomas Miller maybe, and they're like, I don't know. Well, he was very instrumental in the legislation and stuff that was written to have songwriters get paid. But not only that, he wrote songs like The Impossible by Joe Nichols, You're Gonna Miss This by Trace Adkins, The World by Brad Paisley. Wendell wrote We Can't Love This Anymore by Alabama, How Forever Feels by Kenny Chesney, Fast Cars and Freedom by Rascal Flatts, and How Country Feels by Randy Houser. So people know these songs like from my mom's genre down to my daughter, they're all singing these songs. So they've been writing for years, and we've got others that are writing. Thought You Should Know by Morgan Wallen, very much newer. Nicole Gallion wrote Tequila by Dan and Shay. It was a Grammy Award winning, I believe they won, or ACMs. It was so awesome. Automatic by Miranda Lambert. Half of My Hometown by Kelsey Ballerini. So we've got lots of newer current songwriting as well as some of the great hits of the past.
Well, a lot of those names are very familiar, even to me.
Yeah. Even if you don't know, right? Miranda Lambert, Lainey Wilson.
Yeah, Rascal Flatts. I mean,
yes,
that it comes from a long time country music.
That's right.
Luke
Lady Antebellum, Kenny Chesney. Yeah. I've even got some that have written for George Strait and Garth Brooks. So we got it all. It's so fun.
Well, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Randi L. Moody, who is the producer of this event called Sax Song and Wine Series. It's happening this summer and starting this next month of May, creeping up on us very fast. It's going to be May 17th, and it's at Miners Leap Winery. I'm Lindsey, your host today, and I'm also a filmmaker and working on a documentary called Seabiscuit's Legacy. And this is Randi Moody, who's the owner and consulting owner of RLM Events, right, Randi?
Yes, RLM Event.
Consulting and experiential events. I like the way that you use that word, experiential.
Yeah, everything I do is an experience. So,
right. Yes. So tell us more about yourself, your little bit about your background and how you got into doing this and some of what goes on behind the scenes.
Sure, absolutely. So music is my thing. Everybody has their thing, right? My mom has horses and, a lot of people have cars or whatever your thing is. And music is just what moves me. So it was fitting that I went into radio at some time and was surrounded by music. I remember one of my jobs, we had 6 radio stations, and every building that you went into, every quarter piped in whatever radio station that was. So in one day I could be listening to 6 stations going in a circle, but I learned a lot about music and events.
By the way, Randi?
In Sacramento, I worked for a company at that time called Intercom, and we housed some of the well-known radio stations at the time. Some of them are still there, but rock stations and smooth jazz stations, and anyways, all formats. The Eagle, 96.9, the Eagle, all formats there. So it was super fun. Learned a ton.
This is something you and I have in common.
Radio
for one radio station back in Aspen, Colorado, and it was an album-oriented rock station in the 70s and 80s when I was there.
Yeah,
that's where I
fun. I learned so much.
Right.
Yeah, did promotions, learned about the sales, did support for the GM and the sales background. So I had the marketing part of it, the design part of it, learned the promotion and event side part of it. So when my first son, Terry, was born, I worked till Friday and had Terry on Monday. So I worked right up to that. And then after that, I just couldn't exactly go back. So this entrepreneurial spirit came about, and I just have been home and being an entrepreneur ever since. But music-centered events is where my heartbeat is. And so I, for a long time now, I've also been working with, got aligned with a lady named Bobby Jacobs, and we did Live in the Vineyard. In fact, I just got home late last night. We just did Live in the Vineyard Ghost Country in Napa, California. So of course, learned a ton there, and how to do just events that are top notch and special. And that's where that experiential comes into play. And so with COVID and everything, our industry took a hit for sure, as many did, but the live events and music, and touring and stuff took a complete halt. So everyone had to do quite a bit of pivoting. And one of my pivots was starting RLM Events, and just trying to navigate the world and figure out what to do next. And so a great friend of mine, Nate Deaton, down at KRTY in San Jose, had been doing this singer-songwriter series for, I think he's on his 11th year now at Close a Chance, and just such a great concept and following. And he inspired me to do this.
That was
And
in San
so,
Martin, I understand.
yeah, down in South San Jose.
Yep.
Yeah, he was very just inspiring and empowering to do this and believed in me. And I'm excited to start this new tradition. Hopefully it becomes a tradition for people. They sell out season passes in a hot second now because it's become such a tradition. And I want that for our community here in the Sacramento area. I just really, people are chomping at the bit. Like, when are the tickets going to go on sale? Because once a month for May, June. We don't have July this year, but August, September, October, I hope to expand it to more songwriters, more dates and such. So just a great tradition for friends and family. And I'm really, really excited, if you can't tell.
I can, your enthusiasm carrying through the Zoom call here today and through
Yeah.
radio station. This is the inaugural Sax Song and Wine series we're talking about, and it's set to kick off Wednesday, May the 17th at the beautiful Miners Leap Winery in the historic small town of Clarksburg.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be, the next dates are June 14th, August 16th, September 13th, and October 4th. So this is like storytelling under the stars.
It is.
The way that you described it is so compelling, Randi.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's going to be an experience, and no one will ever be the same because you can't recreate what's going to happen. The storytelling and the music and the relationships and the people that are mean. And by the way, it's a very small, intimate crowd. Like, we sell out at 300. That's it. It's small. So you got to grab your tickets because you're not going to want to miss that experience. It's just, people walk away going, that was incredible. That was incredible.
And this is going to be on sale now. Can people get
They're on sale now. They can.
Where do they get
Yeah. They can go to saxsongandwineseries.com to get tickets, and it has all the information about what's included with your ticket, because there's different levels of ticketing, whatever suits your fancy. We've got all the way from picnicking on the lawn up to corporate VIP. So it's up to you. We've got something for everyone. But saxsongandwineseries.com, you can find your tickets there, on sale now.
And I'm sure people may want to stay for a day or two, even longer. Maybe this is like a huge area for wineries. I was looking
Yes.
about the area. There's like 30 wineries around this location.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's so people can enjoy the Delta, the wineries, and spend a day or two. What are some of the places that have you been traveling around the area of Clarksburg?
So I'm getting to know it. I'm getting more familiar with it. A lot of people, if you say the old sugar mill is down there, a lot of people go, "Oh, I know that," So that's kind of a hot one that people know. But
right.
Yeah, so you can just drive up and around that area. But there's also hotels, and if you look on my website, we also have the Hampton Inn and Suites. I know that some people are wanting to stay, so there's availability for that. We've partnered with them, and then there's hotels all over the place, and some small, cute, inns and lodges as well too, if that is something you're wanting to do for a few days. So
a lot of good restaurants, I imagine. Yeah. And behind the scenes, it must be quite a bit to pull all these people together and schedule these events. What goes into some of that? I know you were really busy when you were visiting here last September.
Yeah. There's just a lot of logistics, right? So if you're not a logistics person, then you have no idea. But the planning, the venue reserving, the planning of the venue, the planning of the artists or musicians or songwriters that you're working with, and trying to figure out whether they're touring or they're routing. When we say routing, that means their travel. Like, are they coming in? For example, these artists are routing into Sacramento, doing my show, and then continuing on doing shows down in the Bay or at Chloe Chance on Thursday and Friday. So you've got all these schedules of all these people. And if you're bringing in full bands, which this is power acoustic with the songwriter, then there's even more dynamics. But you've got production, you've got sound, you've got lighting. You have to coordinate with caterers sometimes. You've got to coordinate with all the marketing and PR. There's a lot, but I love it.
Obviously. And that's what it takes. It takes that energy, enthusiasm, and passion. And you've got
Yeah.
them in spades. This is Randi L. Moody, and it's her company, RLM Events, that's putting on the new inaugural Sac Wine and Song events that are happening up at Clarksburg in near Sacramento. And starting off May 17th, you can get tickets now. You can go on the website at Sac Song and Wine Series and see more about the location and the different packages that you can get and the email where you can message to Randi. I see that it says info@sacsongandwineseries.com, right?
That's right.
All right.
That's right. Yeah.
And Randi, what else would you like to let our audience know in these next few minutes? We're just doing a half hour today. You're busy.
I just want to say, if you've never experienced this, you have got to experience this, because if I could do this the rest of my life, I would do these events, because they are just really moving and touching. And it's just so amazing to hear the journey behind the songs. If you're a music person, or you listen to radio, or you're streaming, whatever, however you indulge on your music, there's a songwriter behind that, and there's inspiration behind how these songs are written. And it's incredible to hear how that happens.
Well, it sounds very exciting, something that appeals to me personally.
Yeah.
I'm sure it does to a lot of our listeners. I would love to be there for the first couple. In fact, I even had a hotel reserved and I was planning it, but I've got my production on my own project
right.
ramped up with this incoming funds.
I'll let it slide.
Right. I'll plan to be there like September or August, one of the other.
Sounds perfect.
Because I really like the idea of being able to sit out there with a table with some nice wine and some food, and you're there under the stars too, and you've got palm trees around. It's a beautiful setting.
It's incredible.
The garden, and there's a pavilion there too. And
Loyal told me when he designed that area, the Loyal Miner, he watched where the sun set for eons and recorded it, and that's how he planned out where the stage is. So literally the sun is going to be setting. It's going to be very experiential in all ways. Taste, hear, senses, what you're going to see. It's just going to be awesome. I hope to see it all.
Right. You'll get to watch these singers, songwriters, or just songwriters who are with the singers tell their stories. I like this whole concept because it's not like going and listening to a concert series. You're hearing how this all came about, and you see them in person.
Yeah. Yep.
Tell us in these last few seconds, who are the singer-songwriters and singers who are going to be at the first event?
So the first one on May 17th, we have Leigh Thomas Miller and Wendell Mobley, and they are going to just give you an evening experience that you can't even believe. It's going to be fun. They are a hoot. They're fun.
And the winery will be serving their wines, and there's going to be for maybe the VIP guests.
Yeah. So if you picnic is okay. You can bring in your own picnic. You just can't bring in your own alcohol, obviously. And then we'll also have food trucks there to purchase wine. If you do the VIP, you can see what the VIP offerings have. There is a beverage and food selection, an offering from Miners Leap itself, but it's just going to be such a lovely evening. I hope that I get to see you out there at some point too.
Absolutely. The food trucks. I love the thought of food trucks too.
Oh, they're so fun.
What kind are going to be there? Do you know? I mean, of
course.
So
I haven't seen the schedule yet. I know that they have scheduled the first two. I don't remember what it is. I'm so sorry. You put me on the spot there. Good. That's all I know. They're good.
Good. That's all you need to know. This is the Sac Song and Wine Series. They're going to host 5 events through October, bringing some of the biggest country music songwriters to Miners Leap Winery in the cute little town of Clarksburg on the outside skirts of Sacramento. So this is something that appeals to you. You want to get out and do something fun this spring and summer. this sounds like a great event to attend. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is
Thank you.
L. Moody of RLM Events. Thanks for being
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leanne. Good to see you.
And by the way, where are you zooming in from?
Zooming in from, I am in Folsom, just outside of Sacramento.
Awesome. And if you have just tuned into the show, you want to hear the whole thing, you can either watch it on YouTube. It's under KGUA YouTube. That's all you have to search for. This whole channel will come up. Later, it will be on SoundCloud as a podcast. And today it will repeat here on air at 1:00. Thank you for listening and watching us today on YouTube and on 88.3 FM. I'm Lindsey, and this is KGUA in Wallala, 88.3 FM, streaming at kgua.org. Bye, Randi.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. And we're going to next go into a show called Counterspin, and then